Guys, it's Chookman here once again talking about all the accidents and assaults and injuries that the Chookman suffered as a young boy growing up into a man. We've already talked about the assault that I suffered when I was 17 in Jerilderie. What an event that was, My journey has been really hickly-pickly. It's been, wow, what a ride, man. And I say that respectably. We all go through life our own special way. We all go through life up and down like a merry-go-round. That's how I experience life. As I said, and I'll say it again, I'm very blessed, I'm very lucky to be able to speak up and tell my story to all you people out there in the big wide world. As I said it, and I'll say it again, this is all about other people in life. Never give up, always go forward in life. I'm a big believer. I'm still living today because it's supposed to have told my story so I can help other people on their life in journey. So I really are so happy to tell my story. And if something just gets a little bit and it helps them understand how their life's been, it's really good. So today we're going to be talking about the second assault on the Chookman's life. I wasn't called the Chookman back then. My real name's Ray. And if you ever see me in the streets, say g'day, how you going? And just be respectably, yeah. Don't be rude to me. Don't be anything else. But I'm not perfect, guys, and I don't try to come across as I'm perfect. I've got a lot of faults. Don't forget I suffer from mental health. I've got critical PTSD, I've got bowel disease, and I've got pancreatitis, and many more health issues that the Chookman suffers from. So I'm no different than you, and you're no different than me. So we all should just get along in life and be happy and make the best of what we can of each day while we're still living. And I say that respectably. So today we're going to be talking about the second bad assault that happened to me. I was 22 when this happened. As you all know, I was a chronic alcoholic. I got drunk this particular day once again. You reckon I would have learnt the first time, but I didn't. And as I said, and I'll say it again, I'm lucky to be here telling my story. I was mucking around with an interesting character. I won't mention names here because it doesn't, name dropping doesn't help. He said to me one day, what do you want to do? I was floating around Preston. I was 21, around about that age. I went to Flemington Flats to meet an old flame of mine. And we had a bit of a disagreement. She was doing something that I didn't like and I was drunk. And she told me to piss off and get out of her flat. It was in Flemington Flats. And I was drunk, pretty drunk at the time. But I knew what was going on. She was up to no good. I was drunk. This wasn't going to end pretty. I was luckily enough that I had witnesses to prove what actually went on this time. A so-called friend of mine was with me at the time. And I was sitting at the front on the balcony. Back then you didn't have any protection on balconies, on flats. It was just open air. You could sit up on the balcony. And there was no protection in case you fell back in those days. She come out, she smart-mouthed me, and she pushed me on here. I'd done a somersaulted, and as one of the witnesses said, I landed on that side of my face. This is Three Stories High. So if you don't know what Three Stories High is, go and have a look at a three-story house, and that'll give you a good rough estimate on how far I got shoved. As I tumbled, I landed on my face, my right-hand side of my face. I had a broken nose, fractured eye socket again, broken jaw into 6 places, landed on my head, another fluid on the brain, ended up with fluid on the brain. another bad brain injury, another bad assault. Shouldn't have been there. Shoulda, coulda. You know the old saying, shoulda, coulda, woulda. Shouldn't have happened. Well, it did happen, and I'm here today telling my story. It's all based on I shouldn't have been an alcoholic. I shouldn't have been visiting this person at this time, and the rest is history. So after the ambulance picked me up once again, I ended up back in Royal Melbourne Hospital in intensive care. The first thing I remember when I woke up, I was all bruised and battered. I had 2 swollen eyes. My nose was all broken. And they were trying to talk to me about an operation that was going to happen to me on my face. Because I'd hit the right-hand side of my face and broke my jaw into 6 to 8 places, what happened is when my jaw hit the concrete, it all shattered into powder. So they had to explain to me, they have to knock me out, then they have to wire my jaw back together again, and they put steel plates in my face and put screws in it. Then they wired it shut with wire in there, till it healed. This took over a period of 1 year of having my mouth wired shut with actually wire. That's the only way they could have fixed my jaw because it was that bad. It was just shattered. It was just like chalk. So now I've got a metal jaw, and I had fluid on the back of the brain. Once again, I had to go through, after they put my jaw back together again, it took a year and a half for it to actually heal, and then they took the braces off all my teeth, and then I had to learn how to eat properly once again. I had to go back to anger management once again, and I had to do all the other things you do when you get acquired brain injury. By this time, they took my licenses off me because of my acquired brain injury, and many years after that assault, pushing off the balcony, was bad. It didn't help my PTSD that I'd suffered through the first assault. This is the second assault I suffered. The person that pushed me off the balcony got away with it. There wasn't enough proof because they were drunk, I was drunk, and it should have never happened in the first place. You can't take the law into your own hands, whether you're drunk, sober, or whatever. You have to be responsible for what you do to other people in society. That's the way I see these assaults and whatever you want to call them. So that's another bad acquired brain injury that the Chook man suffered, age 21. Spent many years in and out of hospital. Anger management. People say, what's anger management? Well, when you have acquired brain injury, your brain's all hickledy-pickledy. You got to learn how to use your brain again. When you damage your brain, you've got all different lobes in your brain. This lobe here moves that side of your body. This lobe here moves that side of your body. The front lobe makes your eyes blink, and all parts of your brain gets damaged. It goes all haywire. And when you get your brain damaged, you get angry. You don't mean to get angry, but you just do. I don't know how to explain it, but you people that have had acquired brain injuries will understand where I'm coming from. Why I went to anger management is to better myself, because I was a very angry person in society. Again, alcohol again. You reckon I would have learnt the first time that alcohol was no good for me? As the old saying goes, I took 2 bites of the apple and it was all to do with alcohol. So that's my second bad assault that the Chook man suffered. I wasn't known as a chook man back then. Um, it was really bad. I can't explain how bad it was, but you could just imagine it. Head injury again, not once but twice. Um, then I went back to hospital. Then I had to go through rehabilitation. I had to learn how to speak properly. After they unwired my mouth, I had to eat soft food. Oh yeah, and by the way, I forgot to mention, when I had my braces on, because they put metal jaw. What I mean by is they put metal plates into my jaw to hold it all back together again, and put screws in there, and they cut me from in there, and it was a big operation. It took 8 hours for them to put my face back together again. So it was a big operation. As I said, and I'll say it again, I'm lucky to be telling my story to you guys out there. Sometimes I lose a bit of focus on what I'm talking about, so you'll just have to bear with me. I leave some things out. So after I got the wire taken off my jaw, I had to eat. Oh, that's what I was going to get through to you. When I had my jaw wired shut for a year and a half, I could only eat soup in a syringe. So what I used to do is the hospital gave me this big syringe. I could only fill it up full of soup, and I'd stick it in my mouth and squirt it. That was the only food I could eat because my jaw was wired shut for a year and a half. So that's how I ate, because you're probably thinking, hang on a minute, how did he eat if he had his wired mouth shut? It's all questions that people ask me. And all I remember was just soups, cups of soups. And then once my mouth was healed enough, I went back to the hospital. They took the braces all off my jaw. And then I could only eat soft food for the next 6 to 7 months. They told me don't eat anything hard until your jaw starts working again. So I'm very lucky to have a face left after that accident. I was surprised I didn't lose any teeth out of it. I landed on that side of my face, so it was a shattered eye socket once again, broken jaw into 6 to 8 places, screws in my face, metal plates through my face, big operation again, critical PTSD once again on top of already that I had to deal with. So that's why it's called critical PTSD. And then that's that assault. Wrong place, wrong time. Shouldn't have been there. Shouldn't have been drinking alcohol. Shouldn't have been a dickhead, but I was. And here I am today telling my story to you guys, hoping that you get something out of my story. Alright guys, I hope you understand a bit about the Chook Man's life. It hasn't been easy, and he's never giving up in life. He's always going to go forward in life. And he treats people how they treat him. What I mean by that is, if you're nice to me, I'll be nice to you. If you want to ruffle my feathers, well, that ain't going to get you anywhere, you know what I mean? I'm pretty hard-skinned. Takes a lot for me to get upset about bullshit these days, I'm no better than you, and you're no better than me, but I am someone in life, That's the way I roll, I can't roll any other way. I also stuffed up the back of my neck as well in these assaults. I've had discs in the back of my neck damaged. So yeah, that's that second assault on the Chook Man's life as he was growing up into manhood. And I hope you really get something out of this, and there'll be more to my story of more bad luck and more stories when it's time. So from now, from the Chook Man, take care. and be kind to yourself and to others around you.